and Tub Girl, coating herself in her own very liquidy poo, was just so pleasant.
Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is our basic human right to be fuck-up.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Occultae Veritatis. Hello, and welcome to Occultae Veritatis podcast. I'm Ood Gallifrey, and in studio with me I have...
Tage Murray,
Leon Filger,
Richard Bigley,
The soundboard demon,
Bambi.
That's the void.
In 1826, the camera was invented. And for the very first time, people could capture moments in their lives and preserve them exactly as they appeared. This revolutionized the world of art, and soon people began to experiment with this new medium. In 1888, it was discovered that photos taken in quick succession would simulate capturing motion. The video camera was invented. Cinema was born. Masterpieces like Seven Samurai, 2001: A Space Odyssey, 12 Angry Men, and Jurassic Park were birthed as a new way for people to express themselves. But there's a dark side to giving humans access to technology to capture moments. Not only will people capture moments of beauty, they will capture moments of pure horror. Today on OVPOD, we will talk about the most horrifying, gross, strange, immoral, and trauma-inducing things ever captured on video and the places on the internet where these things collect. From bonsai kittens to cake farts, from Mr. Hands to Faces of Death, on OVPOD, today we cover the world of shock sites. But first, some poison.
So, what's your poison?
Okay, we have what the Void has dubbed 11 Herbs and Spices, which is a collection of 11 different strains of weed, all blended together to make one joint. And fuck, are we gonna need it?
Wiedenstein.
That's weed.
What was the name for that layer of oil on top of coffee?
Crema.
Yeah, this has none of that. Has almost no crema. I would say like no crema. It tastes like weed, and it smokes like weed. So pretty weed.
It's not biting, which is nice. The 11 secret herbs.
Plus it's probably cat and dog hair, so it's more like 13 anyway.
Well, usually that make you cough more. That'd be the harsh part, right?
You'd hope so.
It's like good.
What flavor are those papers? They seem sweet.
Mango?
Yep, I think mango.
Oh, okay.
I've smoked joints like this in the past. It seems to give you a weird, better overall high. Like, different strains get you high in different ways, but when you combine them all like this, it's like a big general high that I usually get, and I think I might experience some of that as well.
Yeah, I get a little bit of all the terpenes instead of just one.
The mango really seals the deal. Tops it all off, like the cherry on top, but it's mango, not a cherry.
I rate this weed out of weed.
Yeah.
That's generally my rating for any sort of weed. It's weed out of weed.
It is green.
So does weed out of weed reduce to like 4 out of 20? Or
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not a professor, but that sounds right.
I'll give you my weed rating.
Yeah.
I got high on some stuff a little bit earlier. That's why I didn't hit this joint. But I've decided that my retirement job is going to be working in a head shop. 1 or 2 shifts a week kind of deal, like maybe only 4-hour shifts, but I'll be this dude there who's really old and has long gray hair and knows a lot about weed.
Dude, you're a millennial. You're never going to retire.
Oh.
I've got a good union job with a pretty decent pension.
You might be okay then.
Unlike us, who are not going to be okay after this episode. This is not me trying to hype up the episode. This is me giving a very real and complete warning. Trigger warning for everything. We talk about abuse of different kinds done to children, to women, bestiality, sexual assault, murder, gore, descriptions of disgusting things and disgusting things done sexually, and unhygienic things done sexually, and this is an all-of-the-above type episode. This is literally us going over the worst stuff on the internet, so this is all the worst stuff. So trigger warning for all of the above. Prepare yourselves. Here's some people reacting to Two Girls, One Cup.
I'm recording.
This is Grandma watching Two Girls, One Cup.
Ah, Jesse. No, you told me... Oh, God almighty. Oh. Ah! Get out of here. That's really ice cream. It has to be.
Graham, what'd you think?
Oh my God! It was a shitty film.
It was a shitty.
I organized these shock sites in a specific way. There's lots of different ways I could have done this. I could have just listed a bunch of them. But I decided to structure them in a way where the episode will get worse as it goes on. So I'm going to mention the milder shock sites as at the start, and every level we go down is going to get worse. Now, shock sites are places where in the early 2000s or late 90s, you would send your friends to these sites to shock them, or to discuss them, or to get a reaction video, and it was designed to shock people, to disgust people. Also, another application is these videos where you kind of use to test yourself. There's lots of people who kind of felt like when they watched these, I don't know, they became desensitized or they enjoyed them for some reason, but it's this weird challenge to get through these videos for some people. Level 1. Weird, but harmless. These sites are meant to mostly fascinate or shock people. They're not normally used as some sort of test of endurance. They are weird, perhaps disturbing, but relatively harmless. An example of this are screamer videos. Most of them aren't very clever. You're just watching another video on a screen, or you're doing something on a screen, and all of a sudden it jump cuts to a scary image and a loud sound.
Oh, I hate those ones.
But some of them had clever design. There was one where it simulated you playing a maze game, and the path of the maze got smaller and smaller as you went on, which meant you would have to get closer and closer to the screen to continue playing. And just when your face was right away from the screen, then the screamer would trigger.
So I got my dad here playing a game to see how good he can test his eyesight, and he thinks that he has really good vision, so he's going to try his best to do this.
All I have to do is just go to the red?
Yeah. It starts to get harder, so pay attention.
So just keep it...
Yep.
Okay. So far, so good.
The third level starts to get harder.
So, well, I'm on the second right now. Oop, almost came off. Oof! Man, I'm lucky. It almost started me over. Okay, almost there. Okay. I'm at the third level. Is there a fourth?
Yeah. That one's really hard.
Really hard? Okay, fourth level. Almost there. I could do it. I gotta get close. This thing is small. Ooh. Almost there. Almost there.
Ah! Oh shit! Oh my god! That scared the hell out of me!
Oh my god!
And that kind of stuff left a real big impact. Another example of weird but harmless is planecrashinfo.com. Basically, this is a collection of plain black boxes that have crashed, and the final words of pilots and staff and people on the inside before they died. So there's lots of people acting perfectly professional, like they're doing their radio calls exactly as they should, right up until the moment they smack into a mountain.
So you got... So you got the ILS there, right? Yeah. I'm going to put you on 14.7. That'll give you... Oh, I got 100 feet on the shit.
And there's some people pleading for their lives, and there's a whole mix of stuff. And
how is this on the same level as the Screamer video?
Oh, you'll see.
Okay.
This looks horrible.
Oh, yeah. Another example is Bonsai Kitten.
Oh, yes.
Remember those clever square watermelons that sometimes come into season?
Yes, they're very expensive.
This website was a parody website where it would trick people into thinking that people would stuff kittens into jars and then make the kitten live in that jar and grow in that jar until the kitten takes the shape of the jar. And they even went so far as to have a guide for how to do it. You can rest easy, this is a hoax. No kittens were harmed in the making of this parody website.
Also gluing the kitten's anus with super glue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's down here talking about how it's all sealed up.
I was going to suggest a butt plug.
Oh, yeah. Even though this website was a hoax, that didn't stop a lot of people from falling for it. There was multiple animal rights groups that were fighting to take this website down. And even the American FBI and CIA became interested in the website and were investigating to see if any animals were actually harmed. Around December 2000, Independent Woman by Destiny's Child was at the top of the charts, and a little site called Bonsai Kitten went live on the internet. Allow me to read a snippet from this parody website. At only a few weeks of age, a kitten's bones have not yet hardened and become osseous. They are extremely soft and springy. In fact, if you take a week-old kitten and throw it onto the floor, it will actually bounce. We do not recommend that you try this at home, however. The kitten may bounce under the furniture and be difficult to retrieve, as well as covered in unsightly household dust. However, the flexibility of the kitten skeleton means that if the bones are gently warped at this early age, they can be molded into any desired shape. At Bonsai Kitten, we achieve this by placing the kitten into a rigid vessel soon after birth, and allowing the young cat to grow out its formative time entirely within this container. The kitten essentially grows into the shape of the vessel. Once the cat is fully developed, it is removed, or the vessel is broken to remove it, producing the lovable, furry pet you've always wanted, but it remains in the shape that you always dreamed of. There is virtually no limit to the eventual shape of your pet. Before you embark on your kitten-shaping journey, here are some practical considerations. At Bonsai Kitten, we are happy to take care of all the little details and simply deliver you a fully shaped kitten according to your specifications. However, for those of you who have applied for and received the appropriate bonsai kitty culture permits from the U.S. government, we are happy to provide details of the procedure to those who want to start from scratch. There are 3 main requirements that must be considered when making a bonsai kitten. Number 1, air. This ought to go without saying, but you'd be surprised how many amateurs forget this detail and wind up with a cold, hard kitty in the morning. If the containment vessel is sealed, you must drill air holes prior to kitty insertion. A diamond drill is recommended for glass vessels. Number 2, food and water. Especially if the kitten's head is being shaped, one of the most versatile aspects of Bonsai Kitten, it will not be able to eat or drink normally. The most common solution is another hole in the container with a feeding tube to the kitten's mouth, where a liquid food slurry can provide both nutrient and hydration requirements. And number 3, waste removal. Left to its own devices, the kitten would quickly fill its vessel with its own urine and feces, leading to certain sickness and death. Not to mention the inevitably unpleasant appearance and odor. The best solution is to seal the kitten's anus with superglue prior to insertion, and then insert a waste tube through a third hole in the vessel. As the kitten's body is still developing, a natural rectal cavity will soon form around the tube, which can be drained in any convenient fashion. It's just like a kitty colostomy bag. If you have your license to grow your own, don't hesitate to contact us for assistance and also let us know your results. Our staff are always happy to help. Remember, you should not attempt these procedures without proper training and licenses. Bonsai Kitten will not be held responsible for the results of any attempt to apply procedures described on this website. The example I'm going to go into more deeper for this level is Lemon Party and its derivatives.
Oh, God.
These are arguably the most infamous of this level of shock site. It's not that shocking today, because a lot of these are just consenting adults being sexual and not much else. One of which is known as Lemon Party, which is just 3 old dudes sucking each other off. No scat, no gore, no real shocking things, just the surprise is like, oh no, they're old people and they're all men and they're naked and they're sucking each other off.
I keep seeing Sage looking at the screen expectantly. I can put it on there.
Yeah, I do it, yeah.
Oh, come on. That is tame.
Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. This was meant to, like, blow your high school friend's mind when you sent it to them.
Yeah, but imagine, like, being at work and some asshole sends that to you just as, like, your boss walks by or something. I mean, there is a certain repercussion with that.
Okay, these guys haven't seen Lemon Party, so I'm going to show it to them. lemonparty.com. .org. Ah! What? Oh! What? No! Oh!
Is the guy dead?
Oh, man.
Speaking of which, this is the next one, a meat spin. So when you go into the site, you're greeted with somebody riding a dick while their dick spins. The momentum of them being fucked in the ass causes their dick to spin around in a circle. And on the original website, Dead or Alive, You Spin Me Right Round, Baby, Right Round would play. And on the original website, it had a spin counter. If the spin counter reached over 45 spins, text would appear that said, "You are officially gay."
Demon, didn't you have a pretty high count?
Well, 45, yes, but not as high as what it is about to tell me.
Yeah. The world record for the number of meat spins in a single sitting is 10,112.
I was reading ahead to make sure I got the sites ready, and I was like, I did not have 10 million. I had a couple 100,000, I think.
I'll rapid fire a few of these. So the one on the screen right now, if you were in the studio, you would see a man bending over, kind of gripping his asshole with both hands, like all his fingers are in there, and he's just stretching it open. And he's forming a legible uppercase O with his asshole.
You see, the goatsy guy has a wedding ring on, though.
Oh, I see. I didn't notice that before.
Well, you gotta pay some fucking attention, dude.
Burnt butts. A man's asshole just stuffed to the brim with cigarettes. Mana gems. 2 Amazon-like women taking turns kicking a man in the testicles while he smiles. Belly boner. A man fucking himself with a giant dildo, and his stomach is distended, and you can see the dildo, like, poking into his stomach. Pressure spot. A bald man is attempting to shove his head into a vagina, and he's making some headway. Oh, cake farts. It's exactly what it says on the tin. Women farting on cakes. Sometimes the fart is from a distance, so it like wafts onto the cake, and sometimes they just sit right down in it and like the icing bubbles with farts. Jizztini. A woman drinks from a huge martini glass full of cum. Like, those are the...
And, like, that's getting pretty common. Like, it's a subsection of, like, porn to have, like, cum drinking. Like, it's really hard for me to find, like, cum compilations that don't feature them fucking, like, trying to leak it back into a cup after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, at this first level, things are pretty tame. Like, it's just mostly consenting adults, like, fucking each other, and, like, stuff that's hoaxes, and like, maybe some disturbing audio. Nothing really, like, arguably harmful yet.
So are we still on the tier of, like, microwaving a pet or something? Like,
oh, no. I think that would be on a lower tier, like, overt animal abuse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a higher tier. Higher.
Yeah, higher tier. Level 2, questionable content. So
I missed your pun. A bald man attempting to shove his head into a vagina, and he's making headway.
He said that.
I know he said that, but I didn't think it was funny when he said it.
That's right. Level 2, questionable content. So these started getting into videos and images that aren't necessarily graphic or immoral, but often depict acts most people would consider gross. Desk corporate. So this website was designed to trick corporate office types into clicking into it. The landing page looks very professional. It poses as a free online technology help desk. Happy text reads, "We're here to help." If you click that text, your computer's volume will change to its maximum setting, and a video of a woman eating fistfuls of shit while loudly slurping and moaning will start playing for all your coworkers to hear.
Yuck.
Yeah. Not the video itself isn't immoral. It's just gross as considered by most people.
Yeah, and like what Rich was saying earlier, like getting caught by someone watching these things.
Yeah. Cute Dead Guys is a website where people collect and share pictures of cute dead guys. Oh. The pictures they collect aren't generally gory. They're generally looking for people who are in one piece and kind of look like just like a serene dead body. They're not interested in faces split in half and all that, so it's not all that gory. And it comes in two main forms. Number 1, guys who were cute when they were alive who are now pictured as dead. Or number 2, guys who just look cute as a dead body. It's weirdly has sort of a, like, K-pop working in a morgue vibes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I have, like, a hard time believing it's not, like, specifically for necrophiliacs to, like, find. Like, maybe that's, like...
It could be.
Yeah.
If it's cute dead guys, I think it's for necrophiliacs.
Yeah, it's got... Well, because I was wondering, like, because with the K-pop vibe, there's, like, is it for aesthetics? Like...
Well, like, that's sort of... Just reading through the forums and seeing people, like... They find a new picture of a cute dead guy and they'll post it, and seeing the people fawn over it, it just reminded me of, like, K-pop fandoms and, like, obsessing over their bands. The Eel Girl. So the Eel Girl is a video of somebody shoving about 50 eels into her asshole.
I actually want to see this one. I really do.
She then turns upside down, puts her ass in the air, and shoots the eels out of her ass like a fountain.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Yeah.
It almost kind of seems like a tub girl thing.
In my head, it's like, oh, it's more sanitary. It's not, but, like, it is.
There's a 100% chance there's a lot of shit on the early internet that you saw that I'm not going to mention today. There's just way too much to cover.
Yeah.
But I would say Tub Girl fits into this, which is a girl kind of doing a headstand in a tub and having a fountain of shit go out of her asshole and back down onto her face, I believe. I think I saw that picture. There we go. Yeah.
Tub girl coats herself in poo.
I want the eels.
That's fucking disgusting.
Here's the thing, is that a lot of these are no longer really around. They're from, like, almost 20 years ago.
Right.
So it takes some time to find some of them.
There's also a movie called The Eel Girl, which, like, filled up 99% of my search results when I tried to find the Eel Girl, like, shock site video.
Oh, they're so tiny.
Oh, Eel Girl.
Eel soup.
Eel soup.
Oh, because it's in a funnel right now.
Jesus. I don't care for this at all. Fuck.
Who are you watching?
I don't know.
That's censored, at least.
Yeah.
Please motion that.
It doesn't help.
Yeah.
Could be both at this point.
Japanese people
Like, this makes much more sense when you were saying that, like, they were flying out, because I was imagining, like, big eels.
Oh, I know.
Oh, she likes it.
Yeah, she is not displeased with having a ton of eels in her ass.
Yeah, just imagine if a dick was, like, eels.
Oh my god.
If they don't bite, that wouldn't be the worst thing.
Turns out these are the same ones that actually eat the skin off your feet.
Yeah, these eels are about the size of, like, that stick of glue you put in a glue gun.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So is that where they make unagi then? Or?
Oh, no, don't say that.
Oh, I'll see unagi.
It just goes to the barbecue next.
Aww.
This is not motivating me to try Japanese cooking. This looks complicated.
Interesting, though.
Oh, yeah. Fascinating.
one more left. There it goes.
Oh, it's just
Come on,
flapping.
buddy, you can get in
it.
there.
Come on.
I think how she points at it like,
Come on. Get in there with your buddies.
Can we even air this episode?
Not the video version. That little fucker.
Got back out.
Don't get in.
Yeah, they're not seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one of the eels refuses to get in that woman's ass, and the person
It just keeps
is
popping
getting back
up.
out.
It's too full in there.
The woman stuffing the eels in the other woman's ass is doing a bang-up job. She got 49 of them in there, and she's just having trouble getting that 50th in there. She doesn't seem.
They probably
unhappy
counted
about it.
beforehand, yeah.
Well, that's a good point. I wonder if they counted them beforehand and then counted them after to make sure none were left.
Right? I think you want to make sure none were left.
Now she's whispering into.
Oh, this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here comes the poo.
Oh, jeez. That was like a.
We come flying out.
You see it? I thought it would be more oozy, but it's more like a.
Oh, there we go.
Weapon. Okay, now she's pushing the eels out of her ass, and there's a little bit of shit,
There's a
as
little
you
bit
would
of poop,
expect.
yeah.
It kind of sounds like she's doing a good job. Push, Mrs. Anderson, push.
I like how her vulva is covered up for privacy.
For weird Japanese censorship
But
laws.
neither one of their faces.
Nope.
It is 100% illegal to show vaginas like that in Japan.
Yeah, even all the manga and stuff, it's like a black line they put through, even the head of penises and stuff. It's like you can tell it's like a full penis, but just the hole has a line over it.
It's one of those things where they wrote the law specifically, way too specifically, and so people get around it with oh, you need to, how much of the penis do you need to do? It's a tiny line at the glans, done.
But the focus I'm going to put at this level, is the most infamous shock video at this questionable content level, which is 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah.
No.
Once upon a time, a man named Marco decided to make a name for himself in extreme porn. At the time, the porn industry in Brazil was booming, super competitive, and Marco wanted a piece of it. He poured all the money he had into a single porn movie called Hungry Bitches, and Hungry Bitches itself didn't go viral. But then he made a trailer using one of the movie's scenes to advertise the movie. A 1-minute clip that became one of the most famous shock videos in history. 2 girls, 1 cup. Allow me to paint you a picture.
Oh, God.
The short 60-second video starts with 2 women appearing on screen. Soft, romantic boilerplate music starts to play and they begin ravishing each other. Then about 10 seconds in, there's a hard cut. If you watch reaction videos, this is the part where the person watching, their pupils dilate in abject horror. At the 10-second cut, one of the women is seen shitting into a clear cup. It piles up until there's a little scoop of shit that hangs outside of the cup. They then playfully tongue at it like ice cream. 22 seconds in, it cuts to a new shot of the women now taking clumps of shit in their mouth, rolling it around and chewing it. At 34 seconds in, the 2 women start kissing each other, their faces covered in shit. At 41 seconds in, one woman makes herself vomit into the glass full of poo, making a vomit-poo mixture, and for the remaining 19 seconds, they take turns ingesting the poo and the vomit and puking it back onto each other's faces. The women who appeared in the short were Carla and Latifa. To this day, they are still appearing in Brazilian fetish porn. They are famous in Brazil, and they still specialize and are paid to eat shit.
I have the strangest boner right now.
I have no boner. There's no boner.
I'm gonna rate that weed a 10 out of 10 because I can listen to this just a little detached from it. It's good.
Yeah, this is taking the edge off a little bit.
Yeah.
So that last level was gross stuff. There was stuff that was approaching immoral, maybe cute dead guys, you could argue, because you're fetishizing the photos of dead people without their permission or their family's permission. But the next level 3, I say is more arguably harmful. Immoral shit, bestiality, more overt gore, and disgusting footage. One example of this is dolphinsex.org. This website is ran by a person whose pseudonym is Dragon Wolf Dolphin, a self-described musician, pre-vet student, and Delphinic zoophile.
I wonder who like the first was, like how far back in history we could find it. Like, has it been like thousands of years we've been fucking dolphins?
Dude, humans are so gross. We've been wanting to fuck dolphins forever. I'll bet.
I never wonder why you people come down to hell. It's for everything. If you've seen one of these, you're probably going to hell.
On this website, dolphinsex.org, Dragon Wolf Dolphin provides general advice and step-by-step guides and answering questions about how would one go about fucking a dolphin. He answers such questions, how do I tell a male dolphin from a female one?
Fucking remember this site.
Penis.
How do I invite a dolphin to be masturbated by me? How do I invite a dolphin to masturbate me? Can I get STI from a dolphin? Can I give a dolphin an STI?
I bet a lot of these are Googled after people go on vacation and then the dolphins get too frisky, because let's not forget that they're trying to fuck us too.
Many marine biologists have responded to his answers. It seems like he doesn't actually know all that much about dolphins, because a lot of the shit that he says about them, like, doesn't track to how dolphins actually are, like, either behaviorally or biologically.
There are many benefits to being a marine biologist.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a joke, though. Is that why it doesn't track?
Yeah, and like, I think it's because he isn't interested in dolphins as, like, something to learn about. He's just interested in fucking them. And this whole website, I think, is just a cover to fuck them, because he doesn't seem to know too much about them, really. He also, like, answers a question like, where can I find a dolphin to mate with? And he does not recommend the aquarium. And he has a whole paragraph on his website where he describes the obvious, like, dude, if you break into SeaWorld, you might get in legal trouble, and, like, it's hard to get over those fences, and, like, the dolphin enclosure is out in the open, and they'll see you do it and all that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, gotta get him in the wild.
Yeah, gotta get him in the wild. It was October in the year 2000, and Shape of My Heart by the Backstreet Boys was dominating at the top of the charts. It was then that dolphinsex.org went live on the internet. Here is an excerpt from the introduction page to the website, as well as some Q&A questions. My name is Dragon Wolf Dolphin, with 2 N's. Musician, pre-vet student, and delphinic zoophile. Zoophilia is best described as a love of animals so intimate that the person involved have no objections to expressing their affection for each other in sexual fashion. This is not to be confused with bestiality, where a person is forcefully mates an animal without their consent with no mutual feelings whatsoever. This is something I would never do to a dolphin, since I love them dearly and treat them with the same respect that an honest husband would have for his wife and children. Question: how do I know if a dolphin wants to have sex? Answer: there are various ways a dolphin has of showing that she or he is interested in sex. Males are probably the easiest to detect. They will swim around, sporting an erection anywhere between 10 to 14 inches long for a bottlenose, and will have no bones about swimming up to you and placing their member within reach of your hand. If you're in the water, they may rub it along any part of your body, or wrap it around your wrist or ankle. Dolphins have a prehensile penis. They can wrap it around objects and carry them. Their belly will also be pinkish in color, which also denotes sexual excitement. Females can be a little harder. The most obvious way a female dolphin has of displaying her sexual interest is the pink belly effect. Their genitals will become very pink and swollen, making the genital region very prominent. They may be restless, or they may be acting as normal. If you are out of the water, they may swim up to you and roll belly up, exposing themselves to you, coupled with pelvic thrusts. If you're in the water, they may press their genitals up against yours, nibble your fingers, nuzzle your crotch, or do pelvic thrusts against you. Each dolphin's way of expressing sexual readiness varies, so the longer you know a dolphin, the better you will detect when they are sexually active. Where can I find a dolphin to mate with? Aquariums are a bad choice for many reasons. Too public. The dolphins are not in their natural habitat. Night visits are impossible. Some may have external enclosures, which may be accessible, but that is no guarantee. Best thing sometimes is to find a bench or a cove that the dolphins frequent. It takes time to develop a relationship with a dolphin to the point where they will let you mate with them, although some have been as quick as 3 days to acclimatize. Gaining their trust takes time, and you need to visit frequently. This is impossible for some people, I understand, but it is the best way. Sometimes you just need to be at the right place at the right time. I have been extremely lucky on 2 occasions with wild dolphins, and my current mate is a dolphin who lives in the harbor of my resident city. What do I do if a dolphin wants to mate with me? For the male, a warning. In the consideration of safety, you should never let a male dolphin attempt anal sex with you. The bottlenose dolphin member is around 12 inches, very muscular, and the thrusting force of ejaculation would cause serious internal injuries, resulting in aspirations and possible death. Unless you are the masochistic type, you will have a hard time explaining your predicament to the doctors in the emergency ward. But that being said, a male dolphin's member is roughly S-shaped, tapered at the end. If you're in the water with them, it's best to support the dolphin on his side, just under the water, with one hand and handle him with the other. Male dolphins, I find, tend to prefer the base of the penis to be gently massaged and squeezed, as well as gently rubbed along its length. It feels very much like the rest of the dolphin. Smooth, rubbery to the touch, but firmer. It doesn't take long for the male to ejaculate, around 40 seconds to a minute, and this is usually accomplished by either shuddering just prior to ejaculating and thrusting and tail-arching during ejaculation. The force of ejaculation can be powerful at times, so it is best to keep your face out of the line of fire, or keep his member under water. You can attempt to lick and suck on the end of it while masturbating as well, but be warned, do not try and give full throat, and get the hell out of the way before he ejaculates. A male dolphin could snap your neck in an accidental thrust, and that would be the end of that relationship. Females. This is harder. Obviously, being human, it is awkward but not impossible to mate in open water with a female dolphin. It is easier to have the dolphin in a shallow area, like the shallows of a beach, up to 1.5 to 2 feet deep. This is usually comfortable enough for both the dolphin and you. Gently, you should roll the dolphin on her side so she is lying belly towards you. You can prop yourself up on your elbow and lie belly to belly against her. You may want to use the other arm to gently hold her close and place the tip of your member against her genital slit. She will, if interested, arch her body up against you, taking you inside her body. There's usually a fair bit of wriggling and shifting, usually to get comfortable, both outside and inside. Once comfortable, though, females initiate a series of muscular vaginal contractions that rub the entire length of your member. They may also thrust rhythmically against you, so enjoy the experience while you can, since you will rarely last longer than a minute or two. Prior to her climaxing, she will up the speed of her contractions and thrusts. It is interesting to note that at times that I have mated with females, they have timed their orgasm to mine. Whether they do this consciously or not, I do not know, but it is a great feeling to have 2 bodies shuddering against each other at the one time. One thing to note, whether you masturbate or mate a fin, male or female, always spend time with them afterwards. Cuddle them, rub them, talk to them, and most importantly, show them you love them. This is essential, as it helps to strengthen the bond between you. Like a way of saying this just wasn't a one-night fling, the dolphins appreciate it, and they will want your company more the next time you visit them. Well, I hope this is of use to whoever is interested. One final note, you should love a dolphin, not because of the sexual relief they can provide, but because they are a unique animal, one of the few wild animals that seek the company of man by their own initiative. This is special, do not abuse it. Okay, I'm done reading. I'm sure I don't have to save this. Don't fuck a dolphin, OVPOD people. OVPOD does not condone porpoise fucking. Back to the show. The next example is runthegauntlet.org. So it's 20 videos. You have to watch the whole video to move on to the next one. It won't let you skip, and they increase with the severity over time. Level 1, 2 women arm wrestle. One of their arms snaps. Level 3, a man puts 4 styrofoam cups on a Lazy Susan, puts a knife underneath the one, and plays knife Russian roulette with himself, and loses. Level 8, an escape artist is handcuffed, bound by rope, and is placed upside down in a deep bathtub full of water. She was attempting to film an escape attempt, and the video is her slowly realizing that she can't escape, panicking, and then drowning and dying. Level 12, a scalding hot iron is pressed into a cock, leaving burn marks. Level 18, one man, one jar, where a man attempts to insert a jar into his anus.
Whoa.
It breaks, and then his ass bleeds. And then level 20, the top of runthegauntlet.org, 3 men, 1 hammer, case 44 OVPOD. Check it out if you want the full story on that.
Dniprovsk maniac.
Yeah. This is what I mean when stuff starts getting immoral, where you start targeting people you know that the website can harm. These were called browser bomb sites. They were sites that were specifically designed to induce seizures in epileptic people. You would use common search phrases to attract people with photosensitive epilepsy. So say you were a person with photosensitive epilepsy in the early 2000s, and you're Googling common medications, like, do I have this? Like, all the questions you might have. And this website had the SEO that there was a chance you would stumble upon it. As soon as you clicked it, it would open up, it would lock your screen. Every time you closed a window, it would open another one, and it would play flashing lights meant to induce a seizure. And the one I'll be focusing on for this level 3 arguably harmful content is the infamous Mr. Hands video.
You can find him around here. I think it's Time Diver? Yeah, Time Diver is daring me to watch Mr. Hands. He actually triple dog dared me. For $10 too. Motherfucker, I'm holding you to it. So, here we go. Alright. That's a big dick. There's 2 people. Or is that the one guy still? Whoa, was that it? That was weird. Hey, that dog, I didn't see him dead. Everyone says he's dead. I didn't see him die. I thought it was going to be a longer video. Like, you see this guy fucking bleeding out of his ass. That was a little weird, man. I think I'm getting, like, less Vegas by each video as I go along here as I'm watching all these fucked up things, but...
In this 30-second video, it's dark. The only things illuminated are the bale, pear ass of a man, and a second man in a sweater, and a brown horse. The horse rears up, the sweater man guides the horse's cock into the man's ass, and the horse starts fucking. Here's the kicker to the story. The horse's name is Big Dick, and he was a minor animal celebrity for reasons relating to his name. Even amongst horses, Big Dick was known to have an especially big dick. And just to give you an eye of how big this thing was, it was... like, the cock was about 4 feet long, 16 inches around.
Oh my god.
Ending in a bulbous head, 22 inches around. My biceps are about 16 inches around. Yeah. So, like, as thick as my upper arm and that long going into a man.
That's like as tall as my son.
Yep. And the head was... and my biceps were only 16. The head of it was 22 inches around.
Wow.
And Richard Bigley has left the set.
Ah. Most of the video, the horse really only gets, like, the first third of its cock into the man. But in one horrifying moment near the end of the video, the horse pulls its cock almost all the way out, and then, like, in less than a second, it rams it all the way into the hilt. Ooh. And the man getting fucked kind of stumbles out of the screen. The man in the sweater kind of pulls the cock out, and, like, you see the cock coming, and the video ends. That man being fucked in the video was Kenneth Pinion. And in a pursuit to make a bestiality fetish video, he had filmed the cause of his death. Kenneth was captured on security camera being dumped on the front steps of a nearby hospital. Doctors attempted to treat him, but he was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The autopsy revealed a horsecock-shaped tear in his upper colon and a massive amount of internal and external bleeding. The man that dropped him off, James Tate, was caught. Bestiality was not illegal in Washington before this, so all James got was a trespassing charge for entering the farm to make the video.
If you didn't know, for some time in the States, it was more legal to fuck a horse than it was to have sex with another man if you were a man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was probably a reason. Demon, are you able to find the video? It's not very graphic.
Yeah, I'm just found it right now.
Oh, what, really?
Yeah, it's not very graphic, but it just films it.
Bigley has the most disgusted look on his face.
Oh yeah. It's I told you, this is the worst stuff that humanity has captured on video. All
It's gonna be like the deer fucking the female deer, and the female deer goes like fucking running away because he just shoves it in too fast.
Yeah, and you see that most of the video, it's like a third of the way in, and then at one point he just shoves it the rest of the way in.
Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah, that's where it happens.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, because I've seen some share of horse fucking videos, and usually they have the horse like at least a little tied up and stuff. Like they're not free fucking like that, because exactly what is pictured here.
Yeah.
Not smart.
Yeah, bestiality was not legal in Washington before this, so all James got was a trespassing charge. But the video went so viral and put so much attention on the town where it happened that Washington expedited a change in state laws that made bestiality a felony crime. So that's level 3. Level 4, overt gore and death. So this is similar to level 3, still lots of gore, still lots of immoral activity, still lots of death, but unlike the sort of mix of mild and extreme stuff in level 3, level 4 is more dedicated extremist content. Makeatunnel.tk. A man places a drill bit attached to a portable drill into the urethra of his cock. He then turns it on, and exactly what you think would happen happens. 1 lunatic, 2 kittens. This is Luca Magnotta's animal abuse video.
Yuck.
Where he puts 2 cats in a bag, sucks the air out, and suffocates them. Like I said, this, Faces of Death. This is a video series with multiple sequels. It features compilations of disturbing videos, including death. What made them famous is they would pair fake footage with real footage. So, say they only had footage of a woman jumping off of a building, but not that woman hitting the ground. They would hire a special effects company to build a dummy to throw off of a building and make it look like it splattered on the ground and then marry those 2 pieces together. And because of that, they appeared to have twice as much gory footage as their competitors, because they were able to make fake videos almost half real. And they put out a whole series of videos, and it was basically just compilations of horrible things. Just to name a few infamous segments, there's a video where a monkey is bolted to a table with the top of its skull opened like a can, and people eat its brain while it's still alive. A grizzly bear mauling and eating a tourist, people poking and exploring the corpse of a man who was drowned and washed up on shore, a video exploring the aftermath of plane and body parts after a plane crash.
Yeah, I bet you could find like some shark bite videos and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah. Faces of Death is just like a compilation series where they tried to like create the worst videos out there. Just to save you from watching it yourself, allow me to describe the first few scenes of the first Faces of Death movie. The year was 1978. Staying Alive by the Bee Gees was at the top of the charts. And this mostly VHS movie series was being circulated as an early form of shock video, which would one day make its way onto the internet. Some of these scenes are real, some of them are fake, and some of them are both fake and real. The movie opens to a team of surgeons performing open heart surgery and failing until the heart stops. Faces of Death scatters across the screen. It then shows footage of what appears to be the inside of a morgue, with many different, fresh and old bodies laid about. An autopsy then begins on one of these bodies, showing all the organs being removed, including the brain, until it is in all separate parts. The mortician performing the autopsy then takes off his gown and does a monologue directly at the camera, talking about all his experiences with death. He describes his travels learning about death, where footage of many different animals being butchered in many different environments is shown, one clip after another, all the way from plainsmen in the Serengeti of Africa chopping off the head of a chicken, to factory farming and the death of animals in mass in factories in America. It then travels to the monkey scene I described earlier, where a bunch of well-dressed tourists cut open the head of a monkey, pick out its brains, and enjoy what's inside, while the monkey's head is bolted to a table. The scene then changes to a group of fishermen killing different aquatic animals, including killing a sea otter with a machine gun and a shark with a spear. The scene again changes to a seal clubbing event, where lots of seals are clubbed to death on an open green field by a group of seemingly regular people. It's then shown the seals being skinned alive and butchered. Stop the play-by-play here, but rest assured it keeps on going and going and going, and there's lots of sequels to these movies. There's executions, assassinations, lots of animal mutilation, shocking imagery, both real and faked, and both. It's a compilation of every piece of disturbing footage that was around in the 70s, 80s, and 90s as these movies were coming out. Back to the show. But what I'm going to talk about for the focus for this one is the BME Pain Olympics. So BME stands for Body Modification E-Zine, or electronic magazine. It was a website that loved all things body modification, and it provided a place for people that were interested in body modification to meet up. And the community started to grow on this website so much that they started to have real-world meetups and barbecues. And at these barbecues, body modification enthusiasts did what comes natural to them, and they competed to find ways to prove how much pain they could take. The backyard pain Olympics were relatively tame and mostly unfilmed. There was examples of people putting nails up their nose, like putting a needle through their cheek, drinking hot sauce, kind of like carnival-like pain stunts. But what came after was more dark.
Wondering if some of the backyard barbecue or meetups they would do some of the hanging from hooks.
Yeah, oh yeah, they did that too.
Yeah, because there's been I don't know if it's TLC, but there's been shows about that now. Body modification was quite the rage in early 2000s or something.
Oh yeah, and tongue splitting was starting to come into vogue, and branding was starting to come into vogue. All kinds of stuff.
The subdermal stuff.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Inspired by the backyard pain Olympics came the website Pain Olympics, which were videos made and uploaded to the BME website. And unlike the backyard pain Olympics that were relatively tame, these took an extreme turn into gore and mutilation that went far beyond the backyard party stuff. The Pain Olympics are a series of videos where people would mutilate themselves, often their genitals. The mysterious people behind these videos have released several sequels of people mutilating themselves. Often it was genitalia that was mutilated. Some examples are people sewing their vagina shut, pushing knives down their urethra, slicing their nipples off, them splaying their testicles on a board and then having it struck by a pickaxe. The most infamous BME Pain Olympic video was the first one, and it goes something like this. One man binds his penis with string, puts it on a cutting board, slices it off, and then uses a knife to cut open his testes and extract his testicles. The other tightly binds his testicles and then uses a hand axe to chop them off. Through many awkward blows, it appears that the hand axe is kind of dull. And it all goes while living like a zombie. A metal song plays in the background. I actually wrote the band to see if we could use their song. Everyone that is involved with this video claims that it's real, including the man who owns the body modification website. And it looks really real. And there are people that say they are just chopping up hot dogs. I would say no. I know what chopping up a hot dog, if they use special effects and they faked this video, they used a much more sophisticated fake cock than just a hot dog.
Why would I have seen a penis cut in half? Good question. But I remember there being almost an 8 inside of some kind of not collagen or material or tendon or something. There's tube. There's tubes to it.
Oh yeah, and that's the other side. It looks really good. It's a really well made video. I watched it a few times over just to see if I could tell. And for the first few viewings, I was convinced it was real. But then I read some forums and some people pointed some stuff out to me, and it started to look less real. There was less blood than I thought there would be. When the guy chops his cock off, you think the meat would deform underneath the knife, but it slices like it's one solid, the consistency of clay or something like that.
I've seen a dick split in half.
Oh yeah,
by a catheter line that slowly eroded the bottom of it.
Jesus Christ. The cock also acts like it doesn't have loose skin around it. Even if your dick is rock hard, the skin on the outside is still loose. And when the knife is cutting it, it doesn't even seem to interact with skin at all. I'm convinced it's fairly fake, but even if it's fake, it's done really well, so they put a lot of effort into it. But even if it's fake, it's shocking as hell. I've thought about it, a lot. Not only researching this episode, I mean, from the time I was 12 and watched this on.
Yeah.
It just hasn't left my mind all that much. The owner of the website, when he was asked why would people do this, he says that the participants in these videos are real-life Cenobites. Which are explorers of nerve impulses, and they want to seek the extremes of all sensations. Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, well,
that's like from Hellraiser, isn't that what the Cenobites are? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Wow. Those are neurons I forgot I had.
Are Cenobites like pain addicts?
Yeah, they're all those pain demons, like Pinhead and that.
Yeah.
And then that hot chick. I don't know what she does.
These are Cenobites.
They look like a happy family, The Cenobites.
And it starts simple,
They look like the Addams family, but like the extended family.
The box. You opened it. We came.
It's just a puzzle box!
Oh no. It is a means to summon us.
Who are you?
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some. Angels to others.
It was a mistake! I didn't mean to open it! It was a mistake! You can...
Level 5, the final level. I labeled this one Beyond the Fucking Scope. This is the worst shit on the internet. This is where my intro comes back into it. Humanity has been given the technology to capture little moments in time and videos, and there are places that made it their mission to collect the worst things that humanity has ever filmed and put it all in one place. An example of this level
Humans like to collect things.
Yeah. Women'sAlliance.xyz. Imagine a woman being in a place of crisis, seeking help online, searching things like how to heal trauma, women trauma therapy resources, women's assault helpline, and you click on a link designed to look like something that can help you. And suddenly your browser locks, pop-up windows open everywhere, showing videos of women being tortured, raped, killed, and mutilated. It takes a long time for the website to stop playing new videos, and it's designed that if anybody closes a window, more pop up. So it'll force whoever clicks into it just to witness this until they pretty much unplug the computer or get out of the room. And these are people, presumably women in crisis, looking for resources that are victimized by graphic images of women getting tortured, killed, mutilated in often gory and extreme detail. Snuff videos exist in some form, and websites like this would seek them out to use them. Another one is Watch People Die. It sort of disappeared from Reddit, but I was there in its heyday. Before being banned, I had a depressed few months, and I clicked every link. Every link on that was purple for me, and it was right what it said on the label. It was any video where you could watch somebody die. Some were quick and grainy, like someone being ran over by a vehicle recorded by a gas station CTV camera 500 yards away. Some were a little closer up, a man caught in a lathe being turned into a ribbon of red mist and broken bones. And some videos were very, very clear, like someone shooting themselves in the head, filmed close up in high definition. Another example is Rotten.com. So what could be worse than close-up graphic death? A site that made itself the premier destination for gory videos on the internet. unlike Watch People Die that just had Redditors uploading videos, Rotten.com scoured the internet to search for the worst stuff so they could host it and concentrate it all in one place. There were a lot of sites like this that tried to be the king of gore and tried to do it, there were copies of Rotten.com all over the place, but Rotten.com was bigger, it lasted longer, and it had more exclusive videos than all its competitors. And it's exactly what you would think. Executions, people being tortured, autopsies, anything you can imagine was on there. I explored that website when I was there as well. And there's still stuff that I still think about. What could be worse than Rotten.com? Well,
Orcish.com?
No? Orcish was one of the Rotten's competitors. I would say it's kind of on its same level.
Yeah.
Well, Rotten.com and a lot of its competitors surprisingly had standards. Not many of them, but they had some, such as that they would take videos down where the family of the deceased asked them to. Not all the time, but in some cases they would. Sexual and violent things done to infants and children, they would usually not allow on the site. But there were websites that specialized in videos that were too foul for even places like Rotten.com. And the leader of these websites, the biggest, longest lasting, is WorldCorpo.net. WorldCorpo is no more, but it has clones to this day in the dark web. And its clones often carry the same library of videos that the original website had. So it contained things like videos of a violent or sexual nature involving children and infants, graphic animal torture, and things that were so illegal that if they were on the regular internet, the owners of those websites could be prosecuted. But because World Corpo was in a halfway space, like a sort of halfway into the deep web in its existence, it was allowed to have some of those videos some of the time until it was taken down. And a lot of those videos still exist today in the dark web. It's still the same collection of videos. Teenagers that know how to onion browser can access it and access the same browser and or access the same website and watch all that same stuff today.
Serious note. Looking at these things in most jurisdictions is a very, very serious crime.
Yep.
If you go and try to find this, and people find out, and they will because you are not a tech cybersecurity person, you can be charged for many decades of jail time for looking at child porn.
Mm-hmm.
Do not, under any circumstance, go and find this.
Just say no, kids.
Yeah. And that's sort of the rub. The major technology companies have algorithm bots that scour the internet for these videos to make sure they don't exist in any place. And if they find them, they'll prosecute the people that have the videos hosted. But World Corpo and the clones of World Corpo that still exist in the dark web have all those videos that aren't usually allowed still hosted. Stuff that's even too foul for places like Rotten.com. So I apologize for this episode. This is not even a pretense. If you got to this point, holy fuck, good job. I didn't think it would get this bad. I thought it would be, I don't know why. I thought it'd be a bit of a funnier episode, but the more I read about it, the more I remember just how trauma-inducing and horrible and immoral and, how it eroded away at my, optimism towards humanity. That's what these videos make me feel like, and I don't like feeling like that. And, yeah, I to be honest, I'm a little shaken from watching the videos for this episode, so I'm gonna watch the first season of Pokemon on repeat for a while.
That's fair.
Use Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And this kind of stuff is kind of why for a large period of my life I was a nihilist. It's only within recent times that I'm kind of putting any hope towards humanity, because I couldn't imagine not knowing this kind of stuff.
Well, it's just the worst things that people can do to each other and do to animals.
And we have proof.
It's just there's the proof. There's the proof that humanity can do real fucked up shit, and
if you can think it up, it's happened.
And of course, you did leave out the secret level 6, the absolute worst website on the internet.
OVPOD.ca.
Facebook.com.
You hear that?
OVPOD.ca.
Zuckerberg, we're calling you out. Yeah, and that's sort of the thing that makes me realize that there's some segment of humanity that enjoys doing
Absolutely
this stuff.
loves this.
And likes watching it, and maybe even likes committing the stuff in the videos. And I'd love to... It erodes away at my dream of having a Doctor Who future where we solve our problems and touch every star in the sky, because fucking...
Oh, wait, we got a shot, like, the thing is, like, if we... on a base level is like we're mammals. So if you hold us to the standards of, let's say, penguins and otters that go into necrophilia and like fucking their babies and like all this other kind of stuff, then like obviously humans are doing that.
Yeah, I suppose it's a nice thing that we have the cognitive capacity to recognize that those acts can be immoral and maybe make the choice not to do them.
That seems like a pain. That seems like the worst.
Yeah, I like I said, after these horrifying episodes, I don't know. I often don't know how to wrap things up, and I don't know. I can't think of a way to end this optimistically.
Well, I mean, you can just revert back to the initial level where it's just some homoerotic porn, maybe some sort of poop porn, piss videos.
Fucking watch out, people, because if you are jump scared by a video, you'll end up watching babies getting fucked. It's a slippery slope.
I did this though because I had Mr. Hands Up, and it was done. So I clicked X, and it was Tub Girl, and Tub Girl coating herself in her own very liquidy poo was just so pleasant. Just like, I'm not seeing someone being murdered by a horse cock. It's just shitting on yourself.
She's just shitting on herself.
Quaint.
Some elderly old men showing their love for each other.
One dude's got a big fucking hog, man.
Oh yeah.
Slippery slope.
I mean, it's like, I don't know if you've ever like gone for supper in a household, like you're the guest in the household, but like everyone in the house, like two of the people work in healthcare, and then like the third person's like a paramedic, and they go for supper at their place.
Yeah.
And they're just all talking about their day at work. And
this didn't happen to actually happen, did it, Richard? Were you at my house?
Yes, I was. And y'all just started talking about your days at work.
And I was a carrier, and my wife was a nurse, and our roommate was a paramedic, and you were none of those things. And we talked about horrible things while you tried to eat, and you were nearly physically ill.
Yeah, because like Leon come home like many mornings and tells us about the various fecal and urine related issues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just all over the place. And then you just talk to the paramedic and the nurse and the care aide, and they're just eating their vegetables and talking about shit and blood and bile and whatever. And I'm like, huh.
When I worked at the funeral home, we had an embalmer who would eat a sandwich with one hand while embalming with the other.
You get desensitized to anything.
I think you get desensitized to that.
Was it Sphinx from Gone in 60 Seconds, 1999?
No.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get desensitized because, like, I thought like it was quite almost popular to watch the beheading videos and stuff. Like,
those are ones that I
even an older conservative male friend of mine watched the fucking beheading videos. So like, and like let's think like any kind of, let's say any veterans of war or any and all the men who really want to be, or people who really want to be in like the military and can't, they're probably really getting off to a bunch of these.
People jumping out of the World Trade Center is just about as bad as it gets for me. If you had to, you could call those shock videos.
There's videos?
There's videos of people jumping from the World Trade Center, and it is shocking.
Yeah.
Even after all these videos, one of the most shocking videos I still think about is a truck with bricks in the back going down a road, and one of the bricks flies off the truck and goes to the windshield of a car, and it presumably instantly kills the person in the passenger seat, and it doesn't show anything graphic. The camera's just face forward, but you hear just the heartbreaking guttural screams of a man who just realized his wife was crushed by a brick and she's dead, and there's nothing he can do. And it breaks. I haven't listened to it for years. Even rewatching this episode, I haven't listened to it, and it breaks my heart. I can't listen to it. Yeah, go out thinking about old men sucking each other's dicks and none of the levels below. For Occultae Veritatis, have Vanud Gallifrey.
Leon Vilger.
Richard Bigley.
Soundboard Demon.
Bambi.
Regrettably, the boy.
Have a wonderful night. If you made it to the end, hug a pet, watch Disney. I don't know.
Smoke some pot.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not asking you. I'm demanding you have some self-care time.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bye.
Alrighty. That was a non-stop barrage of gore and horror and internet trauma. So, to play the episode out, here's a song about a much more mundane type of tragedy. All the way from 1924, here is Al Jolson with his song, The One I Love Belongs to Somebody Else. See you in the after show for a reading of a poem from one of our patrons.
Happy, but it was fate that it was too late when I happened to find her. The one I love belongs to somebody else. She means a tender song for somebody else. And even when I have my arms around her, somebody else. The hands I hold belong to somebody else. I'll bet better not so cold for somebody else. It's tough enough to be on the shelf. It's worse to fall in love by yourself. The one I love belongs to somebody else. The one I love belongs to somebody else, somebody else. She means a tender song for somebody else. And even when I have my arms around her, I know her thoughts are strong for somebody else. The hands I hold belong to somebody else, somebody else. I'll bet they're not supposed to somebody else. When I make love, she's more like a pal. She calls me John, and my name is Al. The one I love belongs to somebody else.
This is a poem written by one of our cult members, Postal Poet. The title is The Daughter of Night. The city is still, through the night birds trill, and the dogs all bay at the moon as felines prowl through the alleys foul. They all know that she's coming soon. While out for a walk, I stopped for a talk with an old acquaintance of mine. She's coming, said he, in a voice of glee, and he offered a glass of wine. I shook my head no, and then turned to go, and then he grabbed me by my arm. Be wary, my friend, or you'll meet your end. The lady might just wish you harm. I then turned away, and there a bright ray from the moon then seemed to shine down. A wondrous sight stood there in the light, a maid in a silvery gown. Her raven black hair was silken and fair, and her lips were a ruby red. Her skin was as white as a dove in flight, with a garland around her head. Her eyes were like flames as onward she came, and she smiled at me in my fright. She held out her hand and asked, "Can you stand to dance with the daughter of night?" My jaw was agape. I couldn't escape. I nodded and offered a bow. "I'm honored," I said, my voice tinged with dread. while beads of sweat dampened my brow. I then moved and placed one hand on her waist, her other hand I gently grasped. Her flaming red eyes turned blue as the skies. She smiled, and softly she gasped. We danced and we swayed to the music that played, which no one who saw us could hear. Her laugh was a balm and filled me with calm. My affection conquered my fear. The first rays of morn began to adorn the city with glittering day. We finished our dance, and I took a chance and asked her if she would please stay. She curtsied to me and said, "You are free. You've pleased me, and now I must go." And in the sun's ray, she faded away. And my tears then started to flow. But there are many things that darkness brings, but how I wish with all my might that once again soon, under the moon, I'll dance with the daughter of night. Once again that poem was written by Postal Poet, aka Andy Durbin, one of our lovely cult members. You can find him on Twitter at postal_poet. And if you would like to join the cult of Valhalla, join our Patreon, patreon.com/OVPOD. Not only do you get episodes a little earlier, you also get to vote on future episodes, and you get to join the cult Discord, where you can interact with the hosts and other cult members like Andy here. I hope that this fun little poem helped heal your heart from the worst shit the internet has to offer. I think no matter what we cover next week, it'll be a little less heartbreaking than this, but, you know, we're OVPOD, so it won't be much less heartbreaking. And you know what? Free advice? Don't take a risk on the next fart. You know what? It could go badly. Ruin your good pants. Proceed with caution. Bye-bye.